Welcome to Straight from the Source, and our guest this week, a returning guest, Kevin Crye, Shasta County Supervisor for District 1, running to keep your seat as District 1 Supervisor.
That's the intent.
Yeah, so a job you like so much, you just want to keep on going.
I think it's more almost like my very brief time in the military. It's like it's what you signed up for, and I'm a big believer that you finish what you start.
Yeah, so there are a lot of things that you said that you wanted to accomplish in this time. It's been a few years. What is still kind of in the works that you're just working to keep pushing forward on?
I think there's always room to continue to refine and streamline government processes and then what's being charged. So that's like never ending, as well as balancing a budget. I mean, budgets, much like websites, are never finished. You have to keep revising them. You have to keep making tough decisions. And so, that's something I'm very proud of what we did, especially the 2 years I was chair. We added to our surplus. We have a balanced budget. We've had to make a lot of tough decisions. I mean, it hasn't been easy. We've had to cut positions. But at the end of the day, we're in the black. And a lot of jurisdictions, especially the city of Reading, I mean, it's not even close. I mean, they're like $8 million in the hole.
Okay, so I've had 3 people on this week to talk with me for this podcast, and 2 of them are running against you for this. They want your job, essentially. So you have the unique opportunity going third, where I can bring up some of the things that they said, and you can respond to it. One thing was, Erin Resner, when she was here.
Who? I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not.
Hey, listen.
I just got to tell you, I'm not running against anybody.
No.
I'm running for Shasta County.
Sure.
So I just want to make sure.
But when someone makes a claim, a lot of times, we don't always get the opportunity to address it. And
absolutely.
Something that she was saying was that we're hearing from you that Shasta County is in the black, but then other supervisors like Matt Plummer are saying, things aren't so great.
Yeah, that's not. Matt Plummer, Supervisor Plummer, put something out there, and it's the structural deficit is something that goes back as far back as Larry Lease. We're talking like 10 plus years. I mean, this isn't new the way we're doing our budget. When I first was elected and seated in 23, that was my first year. It's like drinking from a fire hose. And the staff, they work on this budget, 6 months even before, like right when a budget ends, they start the next year's essentially.
Yeah.
And so when that's presented in that first 6 months, don't forget, like within 90 days, I was already fighting back the crazy recallers who failed. And so that first budget cycle for me was really just, getting my grips of like how things are done. Well, now after being board chair 2 years and extending our hearings, because in 22, the budget passed in an hour. In 23, my first year, it took us a day because I asked at the time Chair Jones, let's extend this more than 10 minutes. This shouldn't be like a big consent calendar item like it had been during COVID.
Right.
And so when I became chair, I made it over a week. And now that's going to be the norm going forward. So our budget, we do have tough decisions, but we are 100% in the black.
Yeah.
Again, different supervisors do things for different political reasons. And people, clamor onto that. And I'm not going to make any accusations other than the fact is numbers don't lie. Much like at the city of Reading in their budget hearings, you had a councilwoman who was saying, "Hey, this is wrong." And if we're talking about Erin Resner and something she said, she called it all a charade and grandstanding. Those are her words. Called it a charade. Well, it wound up being true. I mean, the city wasn't just about to hit an iceberg. It had already hit the iceberg. There was like ice on the deck, and the ship is teetering. Water's bailing in. And people want to say that, there's nothing to see here. So these are numbers on a spreadsheet. I mean, math has no emotion. Numbers don't have opinions. They are what they are.
Yeah.
And if you can't look at that, I don't know what to tell you.
And this is all something that, the public can access if they wanted to.
And I've done radio shows on it.
Yeah.
I mean, this comes down to narratives. And I'm used to this, Hayley, after, 3+ years of having my business, picketed and literally restraining orders and death threats. I mean, all verifiable. It's all you could do public access or public, FOIA requests. I'm used to it. So this is nothing new.
Does this surprise you? Shasta County is a small county. I like to think of our area as, we're families, we're neighbors.
Absolutely.
Hearing all of this, that your business being picketed, I mean, does this surprise you?
It doesn't anymore.
Okay.
With what we see play out on a national stage, it doesn't surprise me anymore. But it's really disheartening.
Yeah.
But it doesn't stop me from wanting to do the work. I mean, at the end of the day, I was told the medical school was nothing but a pipe dream. And we used to have, if we had 20 public commenters, 15 or 16 would be negative. Now that's like getting flipped. I mean, we are going to have a rural medical school that will be not just a leader in Shasta County, but for the region and the state.
Yeah.
The model that we're putting forward, I mean, so time will tell.
You just discussed that yesterday, right, in the board meeting.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Any new advancements that?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've worked on it for over a year and a half. It was brought forth by Vice Mayor Paul Danuka during his campaign. And when I asked him, I said, hey, like, you have no jurisdiction over this. I think it's a brilliant campaign strategy to run on something like that, but you have no jurisdiction. So, but I said, but what do you think? Do you think it's really possible? He goes, well, I think so. So, I led the charge to bring in a consultant, and there was lawsuits about that, which still haven't stopped, because for some reason there's some people that just spend all their time trying to tear others down, opposed to either creating their own thing or getting behind something that's positive. And some of the biggest detractors early in this process, 18 months ago, are now some of our biggest, most outspoken advocates. And so, the Pikeville University model in Appalachia in Kentucky is the model we're following. They had an economic impact of nearly $1 billion, between $800 million and $1 billion.
That was what was brought in as
That was brought in into their community. And so when we had our numbers, or when Dr. Norm Hall and the team presented their numbers to them and said, hey, punch holes in this, and they used very much the same metrics, they said, oh, we think you're way too conservative. We think your area, as big as it is on the West Coast, is going to be much greater. So, I mean, this is, I'm saying, I think it's going to be one of the biggest projects our area's undertaken since the building of Shasta Dam.
Realistically, if things continue to move forward with this, how soon could we actually see the school be built and
2030.
open up?
We could have our first class.
Yeah.
Our first class, not graduating, but our first class enrolling in 2030.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, but again, it really comes down to, things can take a week, things can take a year. It just depends on, time and money and attention.
Okay.
And and what I also love about this is some of the people that are really leaning in are business leaders in our community.
Yeah.
So they've done it. I have a small business by most standards, but in the summer we'll top out around 400 employees. And so, you have to be able to mobilize teams. You have to be able to get a vision set and get people behind that.
Yeah.
And that's something that, much like the charter or anything else, I always ask the question, like, why not? Like, why can't we do it?
Right.
I think Shasta County is very special. Chico's pretty special too. I went to Butte my freshman year.
Yeah, Northern California.
Northern California is great. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But, people think very small.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to accomplish, I'm the chair of what's called SERTA, which is the Shasta Regional Transportation Agency. Mm-hmm. The city of Reading has had a bridge at Buenaventura in their general plan since 1969. It was recently taken out. Impact fees have been collected for that bridge. Evidently, that money's gone now. I'd be curious. It's not my monkey, not my circus. I'm not City of Reading, but I'd like to know where that money went that was collected for all those developments.
Yeah.
But, we have 275 homes going up in District 1 off of Courts Hill Road by Land Park and the Peaks. And, we had, in my subdivision, Stanford Hills, 49 homes. Half the homes burnt down, and they were tile roofs, stucco, fire resilient, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And half of them still burnt down in the car fire. So they want to put 275 more homes into an area that's already greatly impacted. And it's not a matter of if there's going to be another fire, it's going to be when. So we need to get that south evacuation bridge built. And people say, well, it's not your jurisdiction. Well, either is a medical school to a point. But, if we don't think big and we don't really rally the region behind some of these projects, Shasta County is going to continue to fall farther behind other big cities in the state. As we already know, like with the passing of Prop 50, it's very likely our representation in Shasta County and North is going to greatly change in the calendar year. So we have to continue to look out for ourselves because the cavalry's not coming.
Yeah.
And, I'm the leader to keep pushing what I believe the majority of Shasta County wants is we want our sovereignty. And when I say sovereignty, we still live within the state of California. But building on our charter, we have to take opportunities to take a hold of as many dollars as we can and infuse those in the best way that we think locally it's going to impact our quality of life.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sounding like a politician, Haley. It kind of scares me a little bit.
You're very focused on this, right?
But I'm passionate. I'm passionate about the people.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
Passionate about it.
I have a my wife and I, we have our first grandbaby. I mean, he's 2 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already 2.
Yeah.
So I'm already thinking, and part of this has been, kind of some of my health challenges.
Right.
But, I'm really thinking more about like legacy and like,
That's what what I was going to ask you about.
20, 30, 40 years,
You've been very public about when you first got a diagnosis that is pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
You were very open about it and transparent about it, and you made it clear then that you were not going to step down, you were not going to not run again for office. I think that in the beginning, a lot of times people feel determined. It's maybe easier said than done, though, when you actually start to go through it. Now, you're doing chemo treatments right now, right?
I just finished my 8th last week. I was actually in San Francisco today for my PET scan. But, the chemo and the late stage 3 cancer diagnosis wasn't the big, life shaker. It was the heart attack. My heart attack is the one that really, threw me.
And you think that was a result of the chemo, maybe?
They said it's not. They said it's not.
But you're a fitness guy. You're healthy. You're into health.
I think so.
Isn't it funny how we can do all the right things, and sometimes our bodies just do what they do.
I believe from a deep place of my soul, this is a very spiritual journey that I'm on as it pertains to healthcare. And I made a joke, and it wasn't funny, I guess, but I said, I'm probably going to have rheumatoid arthritis here by the end of the month. But it's like, understanding and hearing all the stories from people who are, my cardiologist and all 3 of my oncologists are at UCSF.
Yeah.
And I have the ability to go down there and travel, and the flexibility with my own companies, and being a supervisor, I can set my own schedule. A lot of people don't.
Yeah.
So this medical school and improving medical care access is very near and dear to me, especially in the people of District 1. We have a lot of seniors and a lot of people on fixed incomes that need quality health care.
Right.
And, we can't just, someone's got to do it.
Yeah.
And I said, well, why not us? Why not now?
Yeah.
And if not, when?
Right. I mean, sometimes I think that a lot of people who are county leaders, we're local leaders, you hear from your constituents that there's a need, and you hear it, you listen to them, but it takes experiencing it firsthand to really know, whoa, this is life-changing.
Well, people can't get even a primary doctor, a primary care doctor, and so they'll. For me, I had my my colonoscopy on December 7th. December 7th, and December 9th or 10th, I was getting results, and I was in chemo by the 31st. So it was fast, but again, it wasn't because of who I am or who I know per se. It was just about I have the ability to get on a phone. And
you got to advocate for yourself.
Well, you got to advocate for yourself, and there's a lot of people that just don't have that, and that's why I know that the Pikeville model and what they did in a very, very remote area of the country, and a very economically depressed area, and where they are today. It's night and day different.
And the key thing here is the idea that studies or research shows that if somebody attends a medical school in that community, that they tend to stay in the community.
Yeah, but I think even going deeper than that, what we're going to have now, I know 7 doctors, 7 people that are in medical school or residency right now, not in California. Dr. Danuka, who helped lead this, vice mayor, his daughter is going to medical school in New York. Because she can't get in. So for us, there's kids right now at Turtle Bay or Sequoia, middle schools, high schools, that they're going to have a slot at this school. So they may have a 3.8 or 3.9.
Yeah.
And somebody else has a 4.4 who lives in, let's just say San Mateo or Phoenix, Arizona. Well, they're going to prioritize regional kids. So that means kids from Modoc, Butte, Glen, Modoc, Siskiyou, Shasta County, Humboldt.
Yeah.
They'll get first preference. And again, this has already been done in other places. We're just using Pikeville as a model because that's the place we travel. That's the place they traveled. But, the chances of a person growing up in Shasta County, or let's just even say in Chico and going to school in Redding, they're going to move back to Chico. Their parents are going to be here.
Right. Their
brothers, sisters, the little league, ball field they played on, maybe whether it's CARD or any other, youth program, YMCA, et cetera, Upward. They're going to want to plant their family there, and they're likely going to meet their spouse.
Right.
So and this isn't new. The concept's already been proved out on multiple schools.
Yep. Okay.
And to me, I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I love the idea too. Speaking of schools, you have been sort of mentioning that you were working on something
Yep.
and you just got, what,
Yep,
CIF?
Just today we got CIF approval.
Okay, what can you tell me about this right now?
Northbound Academy is a non-religious private school. We're taking 9th and 10th graders. We'll start enrollment immediately.
Okay.
People can go to northboundacademy.com. There's a plug. But we're taking less than 25 students first year. We're going to take 50 the second year, and we're going to be at 200 year 3.
Wow.
And I'm elated about it. I mean, kids can't choose their parents, and I think one thing I've learned in government is private industry and citizens can do it better, for sure. And so there's a lot of great schools out there. My wife's a teacher, but I have a very, very specific track that I think kids need to be on.
Okay.
I think kids need to be taught entrepreneurial skills. So every single student in our school will have a business. That doesn't mean they have to make money, but they're going to understand, product or service development. They're going to learn about supply chain. They're going to learn about pricing, advertising, and I'm excited about it because I think there's so much wasted time in traditional schools.
How did you come up with this idea?
Well, I have 2 older daughters who both, my oldest daughter graduated college at 19.
Okay.
She's a school psychologist now. She's in her 3rd year, just wrapping up her master's. And then my middle child daughter is a senior at Foothill, and she'll have about a year and a half of college already done. So when my son, who's in 8th grade, we were starting to look at what school to take him his freshman year. He loves music, he loves basketball, he loves math. I mean, he's got a lot of passions. So as we looked at different schools, it was like a school didn't exist to meet the needs of what he wanted. So when I started to ask other parents of friends of his, where they were going to go, they had some of the same questions, and it was never something I ever pondered with my daughters.
Yeah.
It was just like, this is where they're going to go.
Right.
This is where we live. That's where they're going to go.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about it. I mean, I'm over the moon about the news today being approved by the CIF. And
so what's the next step, and how involved will you personally be?
Well, I hired a principal and a teacher quite a few months ago. So they've been working on curriculum and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah. So I'm going to be involved, in some capacity. But the most important thing for me is I really, everybody has talents. And I think one of the talents I have is to have an idea, but then get people a lot smarter than me to lead those projects. So I create the guardrails and say, this is where I want to go, this is where I want to end up, help us get there efficiently and financially effective.
Okay.
And so I've got a great team of people. And I think this, like many other things that I've done, I've been able to rally great support and get good people, and the results speak for themselves.
So I know that people who hear this may be very interested in their children getting involved. How soon will you have that information available to them?
Oh, it's already up. The website's already up.
Oh, okay. So they can go, they can look at enrollment.
I started this a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
But we just now got the CIF approval.
Okay.
So,
and
that was a big thing because a lot of kids, young people and parents, sports teaches you so much. It's not about college scholarships for me. Like there was a period of my life, and I represent pro athletes now in Valor Talent Group, my talent agency. But it's not about athletic, stardom and success in Division I or pro. It's really about what you learn from a character standpoint through wins and losses, learning how to operate within a team. Like that's the stuff that I had to make sure that our school had before I really officially launched it. Because if you don't have sports, you can't offer sports. We're going to offer 4. Boys and girls basketball, golf, cross country, and track. Boys and girls for all of those.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, depending on how many kids we have, of what teams we field.
Sure. Okay.
But eventually, we'll add sports. But those are the 4 we're starting with next year.
All right. Great. So we have a little time left. I mentioned something that one of your opponents had brought up, and we addressed that already. The other opponent, Richard Gallardo. He brought up something about the vote on the mental health facility, for one thing. You still stand by that, right? You had the objections that you had, you feel...
Yeah. There was 2 projects. There was True North, and then there was the Family Dynamics in Anderson.
Yeah.
True North, Signature Healthcare was not the right partner. I mean, if you Google them, Signature Healthcare, look at their Santa Rosa facility, I mean, you're talking real big issues. And the other thing, too, is the city of Shasta Lake, not my district, that's Supervisor Plummer's, but Shasta Lake didn't remotely want that there. With the Anderson one, what I did like about that one was it was youth-focused, which I thought was important. But also, and keep in mind, the Anderson Family Dynamics, that property backed up to the fence of my childhood home where my mom still owns. So when people talk about NIMBY,
Yeah.
it's like my mom called me and said, hey, what's this I hear? I was like, yeah, Mom. Yeah, it's on the other side of your fence.
Right.
Church owns the land, and I really think that the government needs to get out of a lot of mental health stuff. I think more churches and more independent private companies need to be doing that. I think the government is not the solution to our problems. So the Family Dynamics, we put some contingencies in there that if the city wasn't behind it and the sheriff or Chief Collins with APD or Tracy Neal, the probation, and the city council, if we didn't have a collection of support from them, it killed the deal. And that's what happened.
Okay.
The community spoke out, and before it even got to the law enforcement side, it was killed. But that's why you put contingencies.
Sure.
It's like buying a home or anything else. Like you put an offer in a home, you don't just put a down payment and say, oh, well, I guess it's ours. Then you find out there's dry rot or there's termites or, the wiring's all bad. Like you put a contingency and you get your money back.
Do you think that moving forward, if you're reelected, you keep your seat, is this finding some sort of facility to deal with the worst of the worst mental health cases? Is that going to be a priority for you?
The mental health crisis we have in the state, the nation, or specifically in Shasta County is one that is massive. And it's a priority, but I also realize the finite money we have. So when other candidates or people run on mental health is the most important thing, that's great. Just like if I said, look, we've all got to get to the moon. Like, we've got to get to the moon. We can't survive on Earth. Well, how are we going to get to the moon? Do you have a rocket ship? I don't have a rocket ship.
Not yet.
Well, there's no money for it. I mean, so the state has all these things they'd like to do, but there's not money for it.
Yeah.
And counties can't be holding the bag. I mean, what was interesting about the True North Project was to get all these surrounding counties sending letters of support. Well, of course. So I reached out to 4 other board chairs or supervisors in other counties and said, hey, guess what? We're not going to do it, but I'm going to send a letter of support for you to have it in your county. And they're like, oh, no, I don't want it. That's why we signed it and sent it to you, because they don't want it in their community. They don't want that possible liability. People need help. We have to absolutely get them help, and that's one of the other things with the medical school that's going to improve. We're going to be able to have psychiatric care, and we're going to be able to have internships or residencies around that.
Yeah.
So it's going to not just benefit people in terms of primary care or maybe specialties, but mental health it's going to affect. Then it's going to really affect the economy, which is not even the reason we necessarily do it, but it's a huge impact. And the more money we have, the more money we'll have for programs like improved mental health.
Yeah.
Because I don't remotely pretend that it doesn't exist.
Right.
But I really feel that we have to focus more and more on younger people, because there's a lot of people, and especially in the state of California, and even though the conservator laws are slowly changing and morphing, you still can't make a person get treatment. You still can't make a person take a pill. They still have the right to make their own choice. And a lot of people choose to live a lifestyle that, ends them up in jail maybe, or, in between jobs because they've got mental health issues.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm compassionate, but I also realize, that's all sounds great. How do we pay for it?
Sure. Makes sense.
And that's why we're in the black, and other places are in the absolute red.
As we wrap up here, is there anything else that you really want voters to keep in mind?
I think the most important thing for me about, people obviously turning out, getting engaged, but again, I've always said I'm the most accessible supervisor or politician in general. I mean, I've given my cell phone out multiple times on the air. I have a radio show. I do coffee every Friday. So, come talk to me, because there's a lot of stuff out there that's just, even right now, like there's just stuff that's put out there that's just not true.
Yeah.
And, the first time when I ran, it was more of like a righteous anger because of seeing what happened in COVID. This election for me is like, I will be more than willing to do this again for 4 years, but I'm not going to attack anybody. I'm not going to, this is different. Like, I'm running for Shasta County. Shasta County has so many great things about it. I'm choosing to, continue to be in the mindset that I'm the luckiest person in the world. And that's a person that's got, late stage 3 cancer and had a heart attack. And I wouldn't trade places with anybody. I mean, I just got a school, finally today after a year and a half. So it's the people of Shasta County are so worth fighting for and giving them opportunities, especially kids.
Yeah.
Love kids.
All right. Kevin Crye, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
You. All right.
Thanks for listening today. I decided to offer this podcast after enough of you let me know that you wanted a deeper dive into certain stories than you get on our TV broadcasts. We elect certain people to represent our voice, but who are they really? My hope is that this podcast answers that question. I love your feedback, and I want to know who you'd like to hear from next. Just fill out that comment section and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, or Spotify.